presentation you have a question, if at any point in the presentation you have a question, please feel free to include the answer in the chat box. Once again, I am welcoming you to learn your MBA Internship Early presentation by Standout Consulting, and I'll be introducing myself in the next slide. So basically, who am I? My name is Timala Abiedu. I also go by Anu. I am the senior consultant at Standout Consulting, and I'm also the founder of Standout Consulting. For my day job, I work as a technical product manager, actually a TPM at Microsoft, and I graduated from my MBA at The Ohio State University in 2019. So as an MBA candidate, or someone just got the admission decision, I was in your shoes exactly 6 years ago. And I am happy to share all of my experiences, my learnings, my failures, to ensure that you don't have to go through the exact challenges that I went through. So for a few people, they know Standout Consulting. For many people, they're not aware what is Standout Consulting. So Standout Consulting actually is a company born out of, I would say, my story, my journey, my experiences, and I've leveraged all of that to come up with a bridge, right, and a plug to connect people from where they are right now to the best self they want to be, career-wise or academically. So our focus is to be like the plug that connects young professionals and students to always be ready for their next career and academic opportunities. The truth is, we get more opportunities every day. But are we ready for those opportunities? When we see those opportunities, are we prepared? Do we have all of the information that we need to be ready? A lot of the times we do not. We are not prepared. We are not ready. We don't have all of the resources, right? And sometimes maybe we do have the resources. Maybe we don't understand the importance of time. Maybe we think that a lot of opportunities will continue to come back. And we have this myth that, oh, an opportunity that you did not get is not yours. Actually, that's not very true. There are a lot of opportunities that you did not get that were clearly yours, given to you, but you did not have the resources and you were not prepared. And any opportunity that you're not prepared for, you can't get it. So first of all, I want us to move away from the myth that it's an opportunity that you did not get is not yours. A lot of times they're actually yours. You just did not prepare for it, right? And you just did not have the right resources and information to help you actually take advantage of the opportunity. So basically, my mission, the mission of Standout Consulting, is to help accelerate career and educational goals, get you to tell your stories better, get you to identify your opportunities. How exactly do you identify these opportunities? How do you get ready for them? How do you prepare for them? Those are the things that we do at Standout Consulting. And I'm happy to share with you a few success stories. So I don't think I said it at the beginning. Yeah, I think I must have said it, right? We focus on educational and career success. So for a couple of the schools that our graduate clients have gotten into, we have listed them here. And our clients have also gotten jobs at various companies, and we have listed a few here, as we cannot list everything on the slide. This is a testament to when you put in a lot of hard work and you're ready to put in the work and you have the right information that matches your opportunity, I would say the sky is just really your starting point. Now I'm going to take you through a few things about us, just to run through it quickly. We offer one-on-one admissions coaching. We offer blended coaching, and we also offer our DIY admissions course. So everything is not just one-on-one with the consultant. So we offer services based off of what your interest is, how much you're willing to pay. And some people just don't want one-on-one coaching. Some people can just watch like series of videos and they're fine with it. So we offer all of those things. And I would say our clients actually are doing extremely well with their MBA admissions and their scholarships. And most importantly, the reason why we are here today is about our clients that have been able to get like internship interviews before starting school in the fall. So this is for last fall, actually, because a lot of people that are just starting this fall are just starting their internship search. So if you're here, I want to believe that you actually have like a grad school admission. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an MBA admission, but you have an admission to grad school that you are studying this fall, or you just want to learn how exactly can you navigate the job search and internship process, even without having a grad school admission. Whatever we're going to be sharing here is going to be useful for you irrespective. And please feel free to ask questions in the chat. And don't be shy. A member of the team will be responding, or I will take a break from my presentation to actually respond to you. So I actually nicknamed this internship recruiting 101 because a lot of the things that I do, I nicknamed them 101 because I mean, you need to start from scratch. You need to understand the basics before you can actually achieve success. And I'm going to be taking you through university recruiting, what it is, and the things that you should look out for, and what you should start with initially. So, first, the best way to achieve success is you need to understand that your graduate school program is very intense. One mistake that I made that I don't want anybody to ever make is thinking that the MBA program or graduate school program is going to be like a break from your work. Like, oh, I actually work, I've been working extremely well in my present employer, and now I'm going to business school. I'm going to have a lot of time. I'm going to be able to rest. It's actually not correct. That's not true. That's actually a very wrong expectation. The MBA program is very, very, very intense. Very, very, very intense. Like really, really intense. And this is not to scare you, but it's very intense. A few of you must have gotten your, maybe they've sent you your class, like your timetable, your schedule, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, we don't even have class on Fridays. Our class is on Tuesdays and Thursdays and at 2 p.m. This must be really good. No, there's so much more for you to do. There are a lot of assignments. Averagely, you read like 50 pages of cases every week, if not more. You have a lot of class presentations that you have to do. And you have to combine that with looking for an internship. So it's a whole lot that you have on your plate. So you need to understand your academic requirements itself, right? And for a lot of schools, I don't know, like maybe in your first semester, some people do analytics, some people do it in the second semester, but you have like your core courses. You need to understand how intense your core courses are and how you should be able to have the right expectation. Because if you have the expectation that, oh, classes are going to be very easy, it's going to be very simple, you're going to be losing out. So you need to have the right expectation, and you need to be able to understand your academic requirements, right? The second one is be aware of imposter syndrome. Now, people talk about imposter syndrome a lot. They just keep talking about imposter syndrome, and sometimes some of us have experienced imposter syndrome. Is where you feel that maybe I'm not good enough to be where I am right now. A lot of people in business school are going to experience imposter syndrome. Now, I don't know if everybody here is an international student. I know it could be blends of international students and domestic students, but irrespective of who you're going to be in a classroom of people that you don't know. So see yourself as you're a superstar. You're going to be in a classroom with several other superstars, different people, very intelligent, very smart, right? So it's very, very possible that you think maybe you're not meant to be here, that all of these people are too smart for you. These people they're too brilliant. But it's just your imposter syndrome talking, right? What I would say is from the first day in class, you need to set yourself apart. And something that actually helps a lot with imposter syndrome is when your confidence level is high. Like I said before, in understanding your academic requirements, you're going to have cases. You don't want to be the person that comes into class and has not read their cases. You don't want to be that person. So this is how it's going to happen. You come to class, you don't read cases, your classmates are answering questions, you're not able to answer questions, you have imposter syndrome, you feel you're not good enough, and then you drop the ball. Academically and also career-wise, all of those things, they're like ripple effects. So I'm starting with this one now because if you are not stabilized on this one, you can't be stabilized with the internship search. So you need to fully understand your academic requirements and know that the graduate school program is not a joke, right? And understand that imposter syndrome actually does exist. And for you to be able to eliminate that to an extent is you being very confident in yourself. And how do you develop confidence? Is making sure you are prepared, making sure you are always ready, making sure you practice all of the time. Then you need to define your job search strategy. Defining your job search strategy is I think I would say is the bane a lot of the career path services bit of Titanal Consulting. You cannot start any job search without a job search strategy. You cannot. So you can't just say, oh, I'm coming to school, I'm going to get a job, and you don't have a strategy. It's like you're just running in different directions, right? Your job search strategy has four things. Your job search strategy has four things, right? You need to be able to have your application strategy, knowing how do I apply? And this may sound very, very basic. Like, what I need and what do you mean, how do I apply? But there are focus companies and broad companies. So you need to define your application strategy, how to identify that. You need to be able to define your resume strategy, right? Am I a career switcher? Am I doing a 360-degree switch? If you used to work in strategy before and you're trying to do something in business development, I mean, those things are very, very similar. So I won't really consider you a career switcher. If you used to be in software development and you're trying to get into investment banking, then I'll consider you like a career switcher. So you need to understand, am I a career switcher, right? Or am I just still going to be doing almost the same thing, but I'm just going to be layering like an MBA or a graduate school degree on top of it. All of those things determine the type of resume that you should have, I would say, or the content of your resume. And if you should have more than one resume. Then you need to have your networking strategy. Networking is very, very, very important, right? I would say that just applying without networking, it's not just even for your job search, basically. It's not just for your job search. It's for much more than that. So for networking purposes, it's about you building your network within the new country that you're in. So, and also it could be building your network in the new industry. So especially if you're like an international student, or even if you're like a domestic student in the country that you're studying, and maybe you used to be like a doctor, or you used to be maybe in engineering, or you're trying to get fully into business, you're trying to develop an ecosystem of networks, right? You need to be able to take your networking very, very seriously. And then you now have your interviewing strategy. The interviewing strategy actually is what makes or mars people. I see a lot of people that they do not struggle at all with like their application, their resume, but for interviewing, it's always they do not get an offer. And to be honest, sometimes when you do not get an offer, it's not because you didn't put in the work, you didn't put in the effort. Sometimes things don't work out. That's just what they are. Like life is filled with challenges, life is filled with failures. Nobody's guaranteeing you that you would never fail. In fact, your failure is a stepping stone to your success and how you're going to achieve success. But a lot of times when people fail their interviews, they fail because they're not prepared. So, for example, if I ask everybody here, do you have an interview storybook? I don't know how many people do have interview storybooks. So if you have an interview storybook, you can raise up your hand or you can put it in the chat. But you should have an interview storybook. An interview storybook is a book, right? I mean, not a physical book because it's very difficult for you to keep editing a physical book. You should have it on like your Drive, your Outlook or your Google Drive or whatever drive that you have. And it should be a doc that has answers to interview questions that you have built over months, over weeks. So if from an interviewing strategy, you wait till you get an interview before you get ready for the interview, that's already a failure, right? For your interviewing strategy, you're supposed to be preparing for your interview before you even get your interview. So having your interview storybook, having as many interview answers written as possible. So for example, tell me about the time you failed. Tell me about the time you led a team. Tell me about the time you created something. Tell me about the time you worked on a complex project with several milestones, things like that. Do you have it written down, or are you the type of person that's going to say it from your head? The truth is, if you say it from your head without actively practicing it, you are going to end up saying something that does not relate to the question. And a lot of times people say, well, the time I led a team, the time I worked with on a complex project, the time I failed, yeah, just one, like it's just one maybe situation or one engagement. Yes, it's possible that you might have like the same engagement, right? The same time where all of those things happen, because sometimes we work on projects. A lot of us work on seasonal projects, right? And it could be in those projects that you worked on all of those things. However, you failing and the complexity of the project, they are two different scenarios and they should be written out in different ways. So you need to have your interview storybook. If you don't have your interview storybook, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to be prepared for interviews easily. So think about it. Even me, I have graduated like 4 years ago. I am working in my second role post MBA, although the same company. And I have an interview storybook post MBA. I had an internship interview storybook, I had a full-time interview storybook, and I have a post-grad interview storybook that helps me get ready and prepared for interviews. Because I just moved from my PMM role to my TPM role a couple of months ago, and all of my stories, I have it in those storybooks. So I'm not even going to an interview, even within Microsoft, and I'm going to wing it. No, I'm going there prepared, because that's the only way you can stand out if you're prepared. So you need to have that. And that's why I'm anchoring on your job set strategy. You need to be able to have those four things. And if you need help on defining your job set strategy, I'll be talking about it more in our Head Start program. Then the fourth one here is you have to be able to create a structure. Now, a lot of times people are like, what do you mean by create a structure? All of these things I've said is so overwhelming. How do you deal with it if you don't create a structure? You need to be able to create a structure. So creating a structure means, right, how many hours do I put in for job search every day and every week? Within my job search strategy, how many hours do I put in for networking? How many hours do I put in for interview story creation? You need to have all of those things structured. If you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to think you have a lot of time and then you don't do anything. So as minimal as it sounds, right now, you need to have a structured calendar on your calendar right now, because we're in April and most of you start school in, say, July, August, September at most. You need to have things on your calendar right now that talk about, okay, Friday at 1 p.m., I'm working on networking. Friday at 2 p.m., I'm doing interviewing. And I'm sure you're wondering, networking with who? Well, there are a whole lot of people that you should be networking with right now. And I'm going to be talking about it in the offer for our Head Start program that we actually already have one going on, and we're going to be having the batch B coming up the first week of May. There are a whole lot of people you should be networking with right now. There are people that you should be talking to. There are a lot of opportunities right now. So I really spent a lot of time on those ones because I need you to really, really understand it, right? I need you to understand it. Now, you need to be able to attend events. I put this one last because at the end of the day, if you are able to understand the academic requirements, get through imposter syndrome, define your job search strategy, create a structure, then it's easier for you to now go through the remaining things. So you need to attend diversity events. So diversity events are here a lot. We have National Black, we have the Forte event, we have Hispanica, we have Rumba, we have different diversity events. Although some of those events do not align with your type of diversity, but you need to figure out, okay, which one aligns the most with my type of diversity and attend those events. And one thing about attending diversity events is not just to go for those events, it's to make sure that you are prepared, which still stems on the preparation. And then you need to leverage pre-MBA opportunities. So I know a lot of you might have questions regarding, well, a lot of us wanted to work in tech and coming to the MBA program, we actually wanted to maybe accelerate our careers, thinking about doing things in different industries. But right now, the entire world economy is bleeding. So as an incoming intern, what do I do? How do I set myself apart? Yes, I know it's really very scary because people are losing their jobs. Like, and it's really scary, to be honest, for somebody that works in tech. I would say it's scary times. But one thing I always say is anything that you cannot control, you should not place so much, will I say, focus your mind so much on something that you can control. Can you control the layoffs? No. But what can you control? You can control preparing yourself for opportunities that are going to happen. You can control being very optimistic. You can control starting early. You can control creating a structure, right? So you're thinking through, well, they're firing people, they're laying people off. I don't know if I should be focusing on this. You still have to do it because despite the challenges, people are still getting like pre-MBA opportunities and internships, right? So I think I mentioned like 4 of the diversity events. For the pre-MBA opportunities, I would say a lot of them are focused in consulting, investment banking. We also have a few, we had a few in tech last year. We're still waiting for the information on that to be published, right? And then we have like in FMCG, like PNG. So we have good pre-MBA opportunities. And if you're an international student, you are also eligible for pre-MBA opportunities. In fact, some of these opportunities are actually already closed. For example, Toigo had a deadline in March, and people already got their Toigo decisions. So Toigo is a finance fellowship, and if you're thinking about like growing your network within finance and accelerating your career in that way, your Toigo fellowship is actually one way to go. And seeing that the application already closed means that people already started earlier, right? The Toigo application was opened in December. But yes, Toigo might have closed, doesn't mean everything has closed. There are a ton of pre-MBA opportunities. I would say that for my clients last year that were in the Head Start program that I'll talk about in a few minutes, a lot of them got interviews and even internship offers in August and September. Look at it this way. Right now, you are chasing fewer jobs. So you cannot afford not to be ready. You cannot afford not to be prepared. You have to be ready. You have to be prepared. And I think I did not mention a 7 point here on how to achieve success. You have to start early and you have to start fast. So let me tell you about university recruiting. A lot of times people are like, oh, for internships, my internship is next year, so I can start prepping like in January. No, that's a recipe for failure, technically. For university recruiting, the best time to start is a year before you are supposed to start. So if your internship starts in May or should start in May or June, a year before is when you should start your application process. So for most people in business school, they're going to business school this year and they're hoping for internships in the fall of next year. You should start now because now is when you get to network with people. And it's not that, oh, you just click, oh, network with someone on LinkedIn and automatically the person talks to you. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have to do several of that, right? And a lot of applications open early. So if you actually wait, you're not going to get the opportunities that you're going to get are going to be very, 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 very limited. So you need to start early. You need to time very, very early. Now, a lot of companies have early recruiting that are even different from like pre-MBA opportunities. So they have internships open in July, August, very, very early. It will be best for you to take advantage of the early recruiting. Is the best thing. Think about it. If a company brings out early recruiting, like a company wants to take maybe 50 people, or that's, yeah, generous, maybe 30 people. And in early recruiting, they already got 20 very, very, very bright minds. Tell me what's going to happen to the remaining 10. Do you think you're going to have as many opportunities? No, you're not. And the thing is, a lot of people do not focus on early recruiting because they think there's still time. But there is no time. You need to focus on your early recruiting. You need to be prepared. But yes, as I said, being prepared doesn't mean just showing your resume anywhere. Maybe a resume that is not good, it's not going to get you anything. A networking strategy that is not good, it's not going to get you anything. And getting early interviews that you're not ready and you're not prepared for is also not going to get you anything. So in as much as I want you to be fast, in as much as I want you to apply on time, I need you to be applying with the best possible profile and application. Let me tell you a little story. For my, and I think I say this a lot, right? For my internship journey, I struggled. I struggled a whole lot. Like I wasn't ready. I did not leverage career services of my school. I didn't leverage help. I was trying to do it all on my own without creating a strategy. I got a lot of interviews. To be honest, I didn't have like a resume challenge. I got a lot of interviews, but I failed almost all of the interviews, almost everything. So I got Microsoft, I got Amgen, I got EY, I got T-Mobile. I would always not get the offer. every time. And that's because I didn't have an interview storybook. I created my internship interview storybook probably close to the end of my first year. I didn't have an interview storybook, and I didn't even use it. I didn't use the staff framework. So I'll just say, tell me about yourself. I'll just like, I probably worked on a project at PwC. I can just say that. No, they want you to leverage the staff framework. They want you to tell a story. They want your story to have a problem-solving focus. So if you're telling them about a complex project you worked on, what problem did I solve? Did I solve any problem at all? No. Then how exactly are you bringing your impact forward? But things changed between my first year and my second year. I would say that I saw the light, right? So I didn't get like the type of paid internship everybody would expect, but I got a fantastic, I would say it was a good opportunity for me. A startup in Columbus, Ohio took a chance on me, right? Although it was not an MBA type internship, but it was something. But I had a lot of time because I was working like 10 hours a week. And then I used this time to craft my strategies, and things changed. Before I started my second year in the fall, which is in August, before I started my second year in the fall, I already crafted my application, my networking, my interviewing strategy. I was already prepping for interviews. And guess what? I got several interviews, and I got 3 offers, actually. I got an offer again from Microsoft. And the interesting thing about the Microsoft application was that I applied within 2 days of the role being posted. I know people that applied to my particular role 2 weeks after, and they didn't get an interview. Think about it this way: the recruiter is looking for talent, right? And if a recruiter posts a role and gets the amount of talent that they're looking for, then they're done. They have done their job. So if you think that because they wrote that, oh, this role has been posted in September, but still next year for the internship, and you don't apply, nobody's going to call you. And that's why you see a lot of MBA like first year MBA see a lot of available roles. Oh my God, there are a lot of available roles. Yes, there are a lot of available roles, but those roles have already been filled. So yes, I think they can do a better job, right, by taking the roles down, to be honest. I mean, when a role has been filled, they should do a better job. But I think also, maybe, I don't know what it is, maybe they can't take the role down to the intern start. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. But you need to start on time and start early. And I could see a lot of those things in all of my other applications, to BlackRock, to NextEra, to Highmark Health, to Discover, especially through like the diversity conference application. I applied immediately. Like there's some roles that I applied the day it was posted, and I got an interview. Because yes, I've already developed my resume strategy. My resume is already fantastic, right? I made sure that my resume have the what, the why, the how, and the result, had all of the important anchors. Now, what I'm working with is speed. Now, if you have like the fantastic resume, you have fantastic networking, but you do not apply early and you're waiting, then that's the problem. And then maybe somebody might ask, oh, what about referrals? Okay, referrals are good if you have them. But basically, for university recruiting, if you don't have it, you're fine. The most important thing is your resume good? And this is not you thinking from your own idea, oh, I think my resume is good. You need to get like somebody to really critique your resume. You need to get a professional to critique your resume. Is this resume really gonna get me where it should get me? Right? Do I have functional keywords in my resume? All of those things are the things they're supposed to be talking about. And if you don't have it, then that's a problem. But if you have a lot of those things and then you're not applying it on time, that's also another problem. So it's like somebody that has a whole lot of opportunities in front of them, but they're just like, oh, I'm not doing it now. Well, life is not going to pause and wait for you. And even though you are an extremely intelligent person with good talent, they're going to go with other extremely intelligent people. So right now, if you have gotten your business school admission and you're just like, oh my goodness, I want to take a break, this is not the time to take a break, because you're getting into school in how many months? It's just a couple months. You need time to start working right now on your career. And then another question I know a lot of people will ask is, I know we have full-time jobs. How exactly are we supposed to do this? Okay, Let me be very, very real and honest. I had this advice that a friend of mine gave me. We're coming to business school at the same time. She was going to another school. And she said, "Oh, Tommy, I'm actually taking 2 months. I'm going off work in May. I think our school actually resumes in September. So she took 3 months. I was wondering, how can you take 3 months off? Like nobody's gonna pay you for 3 months." But she said, oh, she already spoke to a lot of the alums and current students, and she told her that the MBA program is so intense. So she needs 2 months to gather herself, to rest, and to prioritize. And I felt like, why would anybody do that? That was the one mistake that I made. I got my decision since March. I got my visa in April. Like I had everything. I should have quit. And I know that you're thinking, oh, well, I need to make this money and that money. In the grand scheme of things, it would not matter. And yes, like I can't reflect myself on you. I know some people you have a lot of responsibilities, but it won't matter in the grand scheme of things. You need 2 months, I would always say, to actually relax and focus on your career work before you get into school. Even if it is to start reading like Wall Street journals, reading cases, you need to do that. Because for a lot of it, like the things that I'm going to be teaching in the Head Start program that I'm going to be talking about soon, you cannot do it a full-time job, right? It's very, 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 it's very intense. I mean, you can do it. I'm not saying you need to quit your job right now, but it's going to be very intense. And you need to be able to prioritize, right? And that's why I say resign, because if you go to your job and you give in half, that's not good. You can't give in half, you can't give in half of work. That's really not good. I would always advise people to give in their best, giving everything. So it's more like, how do you leave when the applause is still really very loud, right? So that's just my own advice and for my opportunity. And to be honest, I've told a lot of people this and they don't do it, and they get into business and they're like, oh, I know, my God, I wish I listened. I wish I took that 1 month to actually prepare and be ready. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. Make sure that you're ready and make sure you're prepared. Right. Now, I'm going to be presenting the Titanic Head program. The thing is, all of the things I've said, it's kind of difficult to put everything together. Who's going to guide you? How exactly are you supposed to even define your job set strategy? How exactly are you even sure that your resume is really good? How do you define your networking strategy? How do you work on all of those things? They're a whole lot of stuff. So I designed a program, Titanic Consulting designed an MBA Head Start program, which is not just for MBA candidates, to be honest. We've had a few graduate school candidates, like people with masters in business analytics, masters in finance, general program. So it's an intensive 6 week, 2.5 hours every week. So basically 2.5 hours every Saturday. It's an intensive career bootcamp, and it's helping incoming students to get most of their career portion. So we go through teaching you job search strategies, networking, on everything about your resume. You're going to be doing case competitions. You're going to be learning about behavioral interview styles. You're going to be learning about consulting cases. Now, this is not just, giving you resources. It's literally a school. It's a class. So you are going to be in a cohort with people. It's going to replicate what you will see in business school, right? It replicates what you will see in business school. It's going to be in a cohort of 10 to 20 people. And within that cohort, you're going to have your own small group. You're going to be doing a lot of group assignments. You're going to be doing presentations. You're going to have networking events. So basically, everything that you need to get prepared from a pre-MBA standpoint, from a diversity event standpoint, from a job set strategy, to make sure that you are ready to hit the ground running career-wise and land an early internship is provided to you. And Titanic Services, please, can you include a link to the Head Start program in the chat? So basically, it's going to cover like resume, cover letter writing, job search prep, networking. You're going to have pre-MBA and pre-MBA internship opportunities evaluation, application coaching, storytelling and behavior interview prep. You have communication and presentation. You're going to have consulting and technical case interviewing, diversity conference coaching, post-MBA career path evaluation, case competitions, and networking events, right? So the start of your interview storybook, you're going to have it here. And I'm going to mark it, right? And in addition to all of the things you're going to get, you are going to have your resume finalized. So it's not like, oh, I'm just teaching you. Like, it's going to be marked that this resume is good to go, right? And then you're going to have your cover letter finalized, and you're going to get an hour of mock interview with a consultant. So if you're thinking through, well, I want to make sure that I get my internship as soon as possible, I think this is going to be very good for you. And I'm sure you're wondering, oh my goodness, this cost is expensive. It's basically 15 hours of intense coaching and investment in yourself and in your career. So if you're an MBA candidate, I think this would actually be good for you. But if you think that, oh, you actually want to hear more about this, you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me to learn more about the Head Start, I think that's also good. Platinum Services, can you include a link to my own Calendly so people can schedule one-on-one conversations? One-on-one conversations are free, basically. Just have 15 minutes chat with me so that I can understand like where you are, what you're doing, and what kind of help that you need. So I would say this actually is the end of our service, our presentation. But before that, I want to reiterate all of the companies that we helped MBA candidates land internships. A lot of these companies were through the Head Start program, and they had their offers very, very early. Right. Now, I've spoken about pre-MBA opportunities link. We at Titanal Consulting have come up with I would say a PPT presentation on pre-MBA opportunities, a whole lot of them. And we will continue to update the link every week because some of those pre-MBA opportunities are not open. So some of them are not open now, a few of them are open, and then we'll continue to update the link every week. If you want access, please just send an email to anu@titanalconsulting.com that you want access to the pre-MBA opportunities list, and you will be provided access at no fee. So think about it as we're just going to help you, like all of the opportunities that we already have. We have reviewed everything, we have put it together in a document, and you have all of us to run this. So send an email to anu@titanalconsulting.com. Services, please include that in the chat so people can send the emails too. So, well, I would say thank you so much for your time. This is our WhatsApp number, this is our email, this is our website, and you can contact us on IG and on Twitter. So I'm going to be leaving a few minutes for people to ask questions. If you have any specific questions about either the Head Start program or any questions generally about interviewing, please let me know. You're free to come off mute or put your question in the chat. Okay, so Ayomide.
All right, thank you, Anu. Can you hear me? All right, so I wanted to ask this question. I'm coming from the business background. I've not worked professionally under any organizations compared to people that have worked in the big four consulting and the likes. So I have a media business and a food business I've been building for the past 6 years, and I'm projecting and looking into consulting. I got admitted into Penn State Smith College of Business, so I'm looking at consulting. So this is the problem. I'm looking at how to break out because that robust industry experience is not there because this is just businesses are just built with my own knowledge. So getting internship, looking at what experience, what I have to offer, that's what the problem is if there can be a guide or there are things I can do to actually package or brand myself more to be employable for those positions.
Okay, so, well, your experience is actually very valid. Say you actually build businesses from scratch. That's a big deal, right? So don't say it like you are coming from, no, you actually have more intense experience because, yes, you're not coming from a big four. I came from a big four. I was a chartered accountant. I worked in accounting. That's great, but you're an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you've done everything. You've done accounting, you've done finance, you've done operations, you've done products, you've done engineering, you've done everything. So there are different avenues and different ways you want to tell your story, right? And in fact, your focus on consulting is even more interesting. I always tell people your focus area for internships and after the MBA program for full time, I would say I will always say maybe yes, you should have a few focus areas, but at the end of the day, you should not limit yourself to the jobs you apply to. And for a lot of companies, for MBA recruiting, they do not do apples to apples. So they're not trying to just match you to product management or to consulting because you previously worked there. Mm-mm. Especially for consulting, you can get a consulting role irrespective of your background. It is what you have on your resume and how you're able to tell your story. So yes, the Head Start program can help you build your brand. But your brand, you have an amazing brand. So first of all, I need you to have the mindset that you have an amazing brand. You have built two businesses or more, right? So your resume is going to have a whole lot of intense things. So don't always think about it from, well, I didn't work with a popular company. Yes, you might not have worked with a popular company. Your company might not have been a company that they know because it's your own company, but you built your company from scratch, which is a big deal and part of the reasons why you were given admission to business school. So yes, you can transition to consulting. You just have to start early. You have to start on time. I have classmates that were in medical school, like they finished medical school and they got into investment banking. There are people that are teachers, K to 12, not like university teachers, they're high school teachers, and they got into consulting and they got into tech. So don't worry about that. Like, it's not about, oh, the title of my role. It's about what you actually did and how you can speak to what you did. That's the focus. So I think you're fine. You're really fine. Like, the hairstyle program can help you with the branding, but your mindset should be that you're coming with a lot of experience, you're coming with a lot of knowledge, and all of those things will differentiate you. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's more of, are you starting early? Is your resume going to speak well for you? Are you networking? Yes, it's possible. Like I said, I didn't know too much in my first year, and I didn't leverage a lot of my career services, which is a mistake. But yes, me having PwC on my resume, did it help me get a lot more interviews because I did not put in a lot of work? Yes, it did. I'm not gonna lie, it did. But do you know, I had several classmates with very good internships and they didn't work in PwC because they put in the work. At the end of the day, I didn't put in a lot of work and then I got the result of not getting anything. So once you put in the work, right, and you start early, you will be fine. And your dreams are very valid. So it's not impossible for you to move from being an entrepreneur to consulting at all. I hope that answered your question.
Yes,
Ayomide.
yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. I know someone else raised their hands. I don't know if anybody else has a question. Tawagbade, please, what questions do you have?
Okay, hi, good afternoon. So, my question is, while you were trying to present, you mentioned various services that you offer. You said there is one-on-one, there is personalized. I can't really remember, but you said this 350. It's like this $350 service is like a court. Like you have like a lot of people coming together for the program. For the program. So is the one-on-one service, is it quite different from this? Is it another charge entirely, or it's like a part of what we'll be getting for the $350 fee? I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. So at the beginning, what I mentioned, so I kind of spoke about, so I should have differentiated this. So Techna also has graduate admissions and graduate career services. So the part I was talking about, one-on-one services are like full scale graduate admissions coaching, where you have like one-on-one coaching, although we have hourly services for that. For this Head Start is in a cohort. The maximum number of people in the cohort is 20. And within that cohort, you are in a smaller group. And the one-on-one, yes, you have one-on-one interactions through the feedback that I give you. So all of your assignments, that you're going to be getting like 2 assignments every week, and those assignments, I'm giving you feedback one-on-one. And then you also get a 1-hour mock interview with me. That is not a group interview, that is one-on-one. Now, if you want just like one-on-one career coaching, that's totally different, right? So I offer, like, you want a resume review, you want a job search strategy, like those are one-off services that I offer. but I'm able to also come up with like a package for you if that's what you want. That, oh, I don't want to be in a cohort, I want to do it all by myself on my own. That's a totally different discussion, right? And I think we have it as a package on our website, but this one is more about the group one, because it's basically preparing you for pre-MBA opportunities itself, and that's why there's a timeline. So this is not all through the year. It's just a service that I offer between March and July. So this is like cohorts are run between March and July, and then I can do like coaching for you one-on-one after that within that period. Yes, but it's a little different. So I don't know if I'm able to if I answered your question well, Latifat. Latifat, I wouldn't hear you. I didn't hear you. Hello, Latifat.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Okay. All right, perfect. So do we have any other questions? Okay.
Another question.
Okay, what question?
So I just wanted to ask, for attending this, is there like a type of discount tied to attending like a program like this? Because I know I've attended like some programs before now, and they get to say, okay, for attending this, you get this. Even for schools, sometimes you get application waiver for attending their program. So is there like a particular discount attached to this? Just asking though.
So you will be getting that detail via email. I don't have that detail right now for you, but after this, sorry, you'll be getting that detail via email. After the webinar, you'll be getting like the detailed recording, and also like if we're going to be offering any discount to join the program, you'll be getting it. All right. Do we have any other questions? Or are we all very, 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 very good on our job search strategy? Okay. Thank you so much for your time today. If you want access to the pre-MBA opportunities document, just send an email, and I think the link to access the document would also be provided. The link to access the document would also be provided, I think, in the detailed email that you would be getting after this webinar. I really appreciate your time. It was really nice getting to know you all. And I would like to have a tip for you. After this, I know a lot of people want to connect on LinkedIn. One tip for connecting on LinkedIn is always to add a note. So do not just connect on LinkedIn, because yes, I see all of you, but I cannot remember all of your names, right? So for you to add someone that doesn't really have a relationship with you on LinkedIn, you should add a note. So for example, when you want to connect, add a note or personalized invites to say, hi, Tomilola, I attended the webinar today and I would like to connect with you. That's totally fine. And this is not an in-mail. No, everybody has access. You don't have to use premium. It's a note and it's 300 characters. Please make sure you add that so that I can accept you. Because if you don't add that, it's going to be very difficult, because I don't know. I'm like, oh, who's this person? Why are you reaching out? It's always important for you to add a note and use that as I would say that's what you should always do. Don't just add anybody. You need to add a note, right? So that way it's easier. So thank you so much. It was really nice jumping on the call with you all today to talk about how to land an early internship. If you want to learn more about what we do, please schedule schedule a meeting with me through my Calendly. It's listed here. If you want to learn more about the Head Start program, you can do the same. Send me an email if you want access to the pre-MBA opportunities program, or you can register for the 6 weeks, 15 hours career coaching for the Head Start program. And I wish you the very best. Have an amazing Easter celebration if you celebrate, and make sure that you rest well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.